Hi there, it's time to use the Wyckoff lens to look at where Vechain is at and where it's heading to. If you're new to my sessions, these are the 3 things that I'll cover. So let's start with the weekly chart of Vechain and then we'll get to this daily chart to see more details. So from the big picture perspective, Vechain is inside an accumulation cycle, currently at the stage of a spring, meaning a lower point after the selling climax. Usually, what happens after the spring is that it's going to climb to a new distribution cycle. However, sometimes there can be multiple times that the price get back to this level, revisiting it before the actual climb happens. And, that's understandable. It has to combine both the macro environment and also the project itself in order for the distribution to happen. If there's no news to sell, how the composite man or the whales or the bigger speculators are going to drive the price out, right? So we can't let go of the fundamentals, but the charts are telling us the stage that we're at and the potential next stages. So while we are still exploring the low of a spring, why I'm saying this is because October 10th has indicated it can go as low as this second yellow dashed line that points back to the 2020 November bottom. Okay, it's not the lowest for Vechain, but at least during the November period 5 years ago, this was where it was. Okay, so while people, some or maybe even a lot, bought the dip over there, there's still a chance for Vechain to come back and revisit. But when we get to the daily chart, the view isn't that pessimistic. Alright, so let's expect more sideways trading between the red key level of 1 cent 50 to 1 cent 80, because the past 2 weeks there were clear rejections from the top, but also clear support from the bottom. You see the wicks, right? Let me enlarge it if you're watching on a mobile and that's not clear. These are the wicks that I was referring to. Okay? Selling from above the white dash line, but buying from below the red key level. Alright? Now, while we are expecting more tests, I won't say this is 60 actually. It's time to update the numbers. There's only 50% chance on how next events would happen. Given we're near the year end and a lot of uncertainties are lying around, depending on what news come out, that's going to drive further tests or a bounce upward. Obviously, good news come out, that's where it goes. If people are still waiting for the year end to pass and enjoy the Christmas time, no bad news coming out, that's where it's going to stay. So let's get to the daily chart. Here, last week we were discussing, hey, is it exhibiting an uptrend? But over the past 3 days, especially on Sunday, this has pretty much rejected or declined the idea of the uptrend. What it is, to me, is a horizontal trend that's going on. Okay, this trend started sometime even earlier, somewhere around October, when this first traded sideways and then set a low point around this yellow dash line, and then now we're bouncing off between the ceiling and the bottom of this channel. Alright, the initial guess of this being an uptrend has been confirmed that this is not the case over the past 3 days, because the price have been traveling below this line, so that's non-existent. Okay, so we are expecting horizontal trading within this box. We call that test for Wyckoff, but we know it's bouncing off here along this. If any uptrend start to show up, eventually it will reach the ceiling, and that's where the opportunity comes. That it comes to show sign of weakness. Sign of strength. I always my tongue isn't working very well today. It's always mixing the two. Sign of strength. That's where the July sign of strength was. So we hope to see the price go above the orange and get to test this level. All right. Vechain, that's pretty much it. Sideways at the moment. Hoping the real uptrend is going to appear. Just one line that may be working alongside is potentially this. So next week when we come back, we'll be able to see whether the price is really trading along this ascending line. I'll change it to yellow. This one we can delete. It's no longer relevant. So if it does, it's pointing towards somewhere near the first week of Jan in order to break outside of this channel. It can obviously break earlier, but this is the picture we're seeing now. However, if it continues to trade low, below the red key level of 1 cent 50, then this, again, is just a temporary sign that does not have any effect. Alright, so for Vechain, on Friday, November 7th, it has broken outside of the downtrend, now trending sideways, so is at least a bit of relief that it's not continuing this downtrend towards the low set by October 10th. If there's sufficient support, that's when the time is eventually going to break outside of this horizontal trend and reclimb to retest the levels above. What we hope to see is at least the orange key level of 0.026. Okay, thanks for joining me. See you in future sessions. Bye.